Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss on the topic of DTD. So DTD is nothing but document type definition, which is one of the core concept of XML programming, where if you want to represent different data types, so this particular DTD has been used. So this is basically to describe the tree structure of a document and something about its data. So when you want to represent data in XML, for DTD, we have basically two data types are being there. One is called PC data, another one is being called as C data. So PC data is nothing but past character data, and C data is nothing but character data, which is not usually being passed. So a DTD basically to determine how many times a node has been appeared, and as well as how many child's node are being added. So for that, this particular DTD has been used. So this is an example for DTD. So here basically we are trying to create an address. So the address consists of a name, email, phone number, and birthday. So these are the elements we are going to add under the address. So the elements we need to specify what is the type. So for DTD we have basically two types. One is called PC data, another one is called C data. So as per this example, first thing is we are going to define the element called name, which again has a two subdivisions, something like first name and the last name. So the first name element has been defined as a PC data. So when you go for defining on it, you need to use in front of that hash PC data. So that is the way we can go for defining the type of the data. And even the last also we can define as a PC data, and then followed by email and phone number, and next one is going to be a birthday. So where we have need to specify the year, month, and day. So these are all the sub elements of this particular birthday, and that also has the type of PC data. So this is the way we can go for creating the element with the type in XML. But here, when you try to use your document type definitions, basically we can go for creating only two type of data. One is called PC data, another one is called C data. But the second one, that's why they have come up with an alternate mechanism being called as a XML schema. Using this XML schema, we can go for creating different types of data. So that is what the biggest advantage when you try to use your XML schema. So the schemas are nothing but it's themselves as a XML document itself, and they were standardized after DTD and provide more information about the document, because when you try to use your DTD, basically you can use only PC data and C data. So if you want to have different kind of informations with a different type, if you want to represent on, so that is not possible when you try to use your DTD. So that is where they brought this XML schema, where we can able to include a range of data type. Something like we can go for including string, decimal, integer, boolean, date, even and time also. So they are being divided into simple and complex types. These data which you are trying to include part of your XML documents being classified into simple as well as the complex types. And they also determine the tree structure and how many children a node may can have. So that also can be defined under the schema. Right. So this is going to be a sample schema which is being created. So when you go for creating a schema, the first most important thing is we need to have the tag which is being called as XSLT schema. So basically we are trying to mean that in Excel sheet we are going to, XML sheet we are going to create a schema where XML NS is nothing but namespace. NS is nothing but namespace, where we have to specify from where we are going to take this particular schema. That means the origin or the root. So as per this particular example, if you see that we are going to take this particular schema from the website called w3.org. So where they have already created a schema structure. So that we are going to refer for this particular schema creation. And then followed by, we need to provide the elements, which are the elements you are going to define being part of your document. So here we are going to basically to create an address. So address is going to be one of the element where we need to define the type of this particular address sub elements, whether it is going to be a simple type or a complex type. So we are going to name it as a complex type, and for that we need to specify XML schema where what is the type. So as per this example, it is going to be a complex type, and the sequence. So the sequence basically nothing that the order in which the elements it is going to be get stored on your XML document. So that is called a sequence. So here the first thing is we need to provide the name, and we have to specify what is the type of the particular element which you're going to create on it. So for the name, the type is going to be a string, and the next one is going to be email, that is also be a string, and the third one is going to be a phone number, so that is also going to be a string, and followed by the birthday, which is going to be a form of date. So that is what it has been given in the type, and the way that you are creating in the same order, you'll be getting an output. If you want to change that order, the sequence, then accordingly you can go for arranging the elements. And whenever you have a start tag, it has an end tag. So for sequence, you have an end tag, as well as complex type, you have an end tag, and as well as even for element also, you have a closing tag. And the explanation which is being given for this particular, the previous slide, what has been given. So the complex type, this states that the address is going to be a complex type of element, and the sequence is basically nothing that the following elements form a sequence as must come in the order which has been what you been created on it. And this says that the element name must be a string, and as well as the birthday, if you go for it, it should be in a date format. And here, as per this, the date is going to be in the format of year, month, and day. And the next one is being called as XSLT. XSLT is nothing but extensible style sheet language transformation, which is being called as XSLT. So this XSLT is mainly if you want to transform one XML document into another document. So where we'll be using this particular XSLT. So XSLT is basically used to transform one XML document into another. It's been often an HTML document. So basically what we are trying to do on it, so take our XML document and it will be converted into HTML document. So that is where this particular XSLT has been used. So where we can go for incorporating all your CSS, and through that we can able to project out your data in a formatted way. And the transform classes are now being part of this Java 1.4 onwards. We have introduced this particular one, and a program that has been used to take as an input one XML document and produce output as another document. So that can be either an XML document, or even you can go for HTML document also. But most probably we'll be converting into HTML document, because the reason behind we want to project out this particular information into a web browser. So that is the reason why it will be converted into HTML document. So the resulting document is being HTML. It can be viewed by a web browser. So this is a good way to display the XML data, because otherwise you'll be getting something like a tree structure, so which may not be suits for the users. So that is the reason why all your XML data which you want to convert into a projectable way, which can be seen by different viewers. So HTML is one of the key forms. So that's why this XSLT has been used, where you can take your XML document and it will get converted into a HTML document. So this is where the transformation is being taken place, how it has been working on it. So this is an example where we can use this XSL style sheet tag, and we have to specify what is the version that you're trying to use on it, and from where you're going to take this particular source. So something like a namespace which you need to provide on it. So XML style sheet language. And here, as per this particular example, if you see that they are again taken from w3.org and the transform. So that is the location they are taking this particular template. And basically this transformations, we need to create a template. So the template, again, they are using the same example address. So they are creating a template for the address. So where it need to match with that XML document. And basically we are trying to convert, your XML data into an HTML. So if you seen that address, the previous example, what we have seen, where we have a name, email, phone number, and birthday. So these are the 4 data which we need to convert. So for conversions, here it is happening. So XSL. So XML style sheet language, value of select. So whatever the element which you are selecting on it, so that value you need to get on it, and that will be gets just printed as it is, so that you can able to get the data. But when you go for an XML where you can see only the tree structure, so that is what the difference. So here we are going for a name, email, phone number, and birthday. So all these things, they are taking the value and it will be converted into a normal text, or maybe we can say a string, and then it will be get printed on your HTML document. So for that, the template they are using. So this is going to be an example of how this address.xml file is being converted into a HTML file. So once you transform, the result is something it goes like this. This is what output will be getting out of this particular conversion. And there are two parsers are being used mainly for conversions. So number one is going to be SAX, and number two is going to be DOM. So SAX is nothing but a simple API for XML, which is basically uses a callback method for doing all these processes, and which is something similar to your JavaX listeners. And the second one is going to be a DOM, which is nothing but a document object model, which is one of the key aspects of any of the web programming. So this is basically need to create a parser tree, and as well as which need to have a tree traversals. So these are the two parsers are being used for XML. So with this, I'm winding up. So thank you. Thank you for your patient listening.